Bonjour, Kitamagi and Ireland Indigenous, and welcome to this math review lesson. Today's lesson, division. We're going to begin this lesson by opening up our whiteboard, and let's review the steps to division. First, we have divide. Then we have multiply, the number that you just divided in your quotient. Then we have subtract. Then we have check or compare. 5 is bring down. So let's start with a relatively simple problem here. And let's go 4 into, let's go 57. This number here is known as the dividend. That's the number being divided. This number out here is the divisor. That's the number going into the dividend. And the answer up here will be known as the quotient. So the first step is I'm always going to start over here on the left. So I'm going to have 4 into 5. If 4 is larger than 5, then we would do some regrouping, but it's not. And I could say, well, how many times will 4 go into 5 without going over? It's kind of like a Price is Right rule here. And I know that that is once. So that's my divide. Now I multiply, and I multiply the number I just wrote up here in the quotient times the divisor. 1 times 4 is 4. Now I subtract the number I just wrote there from the number above it. 5 minus 4 is 1. When I say check or compare, I need to look at what my difference was compared to my divisor. If this is smaller or less than the divisor, we're good. We can keep going. If this is equal to or greater than the divisor, it's not okay, and I'm going to have to check my work. But because it is smaller, I can go ahead and bring down the next number to the right, which is 7. And now I'm going to go all the way back up here and start this process over again. So now how many times will 4 go into 17? And if you're stuck, you could go with some skip counting. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. That's really close without going over, so I'm going to put a 4 here. 4, now I'm going to go to multiply. The number I just wrote up here is a 4 times my divisor of 4 is 16. Now I look and I subtract. 17 minus 16 is 1. I compare is 1 less than 4. It still is. And I could see if there's something to bring down. There is nothing to bring down. There would be some options here. I could go 14, remainder 1. I could go 14 and 1 over 4. And that's because the remainder over the divisor. Or I could, and let's see if I can get this here. I could drag it out if I was looking for a decimal by nexing zeros. So that comes down to 0. It's going to be a 2. 2 times 4 is 8. Get a 2. Next another 0. Bring it down. 20. Or it goes into 25 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract, it's a 0. And I get 14 and a quarter. So 14 and a quarter, 14.25, 14 remainder 1 in this case are all the same answer. Notice that each step of the process I went divide, multiply, subtract, check or compare, and bring down. Let's try another problem here. Let's go 7 into 78. How many times does 7 go into 7? That's my divide step. If you said 1, you're right. So I put the 1 above the 7 because that's where I'm going into. I multiply the number I just wrote up there times my divisor. 1 times 7 is 7. Remember your identity property. I subtract, I have a 0. 0 is less than 7. So now I can bring down an 8. And at this point, now I'm going 7 into 8. I'm no longer worried about what's up here. 7 goes into 8 one time. 1 times 7 is 7. I have a 1. So I have 7 or 11 and 1/7 as my answer, or 11 remainder 1. There's nothing else I can do with that. We are good to go. Today you're going to be given either the worksheet in class or the Google form in order to practice long division. If you're completing the Google form, you will need a piece of scratch paper in order to work out your problem and then put the answer in the box. These are not going to always be problems you can do in your head, so you should show your work. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you need more resources and more information, I'd be more than happy to help you out. Have a minugishigad, minwa, pamapi.